Hey, welcome to Dad Describes. Today we're going to be giving an update on SCOTUS. Here we go. Fox News. Pelosi says questions on Barrett's Catholicism off limits. Doesn't matter what her faith is. It is appropriate for people to ask her about how faithful she would be to the Constitution, Pelosi says. I actually have to give Pelosi a little bit of credit on this. America still has many Christians of faith. I believe Pelosi is also Catholic. It's going to be a big issue how they handle this nomination process, and there's a lot of pitfalls for the Democrats in how they go after Barrett. But let's read. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat California, cautioned her fellow Democrats in the other chamber of Congress against bringing up Amy Coney Barrett's Catholicism during the judge's Supreme Court confirmation hearing in the Senate. Pelosi, who is a Catholic herself, argued that a person's religious beliefs should not matter to the senators questioning the potential Supreme Court justice, but instead they should focus on Barrett's views on the Constitution. The judge's jurisprudence absolutely should be the primary factor on whether to give a judge a yay or nay vote with confirmation. The article goes on. I think it's appropriate for people to ask her about how faithful she would be to the Constitution of the United States, whatever her faith, Pelosi said Sunday during an interview on CNN's State of the Union. It doesn't matter what her faith is or what religion she believes. What matters is, does she believe in the Constitution of the United States? Pelosi added, does she believe in the precedent on the Supreme Court that upheld the Affordable Care Act? This is again directly related to a major concern of the American people, as it was in 2018. Barrett's faith was already the subject of questions during her confirmation to the U.S. Court of Appeals when Senator Dianne Feinstein of California, the ranking Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee, suggested that the judge's religious tenets could guide her thinking on the law. You know, it's funny to me that all of a sudden Christendom, believing in Christ Jesus, is suddenly on the chopping block. You know, if you go into the Supreme Court or the Library of Congress, you're going to see artwork of Moses and the Ten Commandments, original base moral law. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill. These were things that were codified and written down in a lot of early cultures, and they're part of our history. Faith is a part of our history. There's a lot of traps for the Democrats on this confirmation hearing. The judge is a Christian. She's a woman. You know, the last Supreme Court nomination of Kavanaugh was a mess. They went after this guy with all kinds of accusations, and they largely melted away under scrutiny. Are they going to do the same thing to a woman going for the Supreme Court? And how is that going to play with the election coming up imminently? I think that they've said that they're going to start taking this case up by the 13th, and I think hope to get it completed right near the end of October, putting it as close as possible to having a confirmation vote days before the election. So this is going to be the front and center primary thing people are going to be talking about right up until election day. Getting a judge through the nomination process used to not be a big deal until I think somewhere in the 80s. There was a judge named Bork who was up for the Supreme Court, was nominated, and they put him through the absolute ringer, did everything possible to destroy his character, and he maintained the allegations were patently false through the whole process. Ironically, the Democrat that was in charge of that process was a younger Senator Joe Biden at the time. And now we have on the Judiciary Committee the Vice Presidential nominee, Kamala Harris. It's going to be interesting times on the Judiciary Committee. I know that some Democrats have said that they're not going to legitimize the process and that they're going to walk away from it. I think that would be a stupid move on their part. I think it's number one. I think it's their jobs to get in there and question and give scrutiny to somebody who has a lifetime appointment on the court, but it would also basically, they need to ask questions from a political standpoint to run out as much clock as they can. If they just ignore doing their job with this nominee and don't meet with her, they're just going to make the confirmation hearings go that much faster. And it's going to be a slam dunk for Trump and the Republicans that much quicker. It's going to be hard for the left to keep their narrative together on this. The far left has already started going after the judge's 2 adopted children from Haiti and have been making accusations of racial prejudice and colonizer. It gets really in the weeds really quick. What should really matter with a judicial SCOTUS nominee is, are they qualified for the position? Get the politics out of it. Clean this up a bit. Sadly, we're at a point in the United States of America where if you are appointed by a left or right administration, by and large, that is going to mean the rank and file of the opposition party is going to rubber stamp a nay on any judicial nominee from the other party. There's just very little statesmanship left in this country. Now, when Judge Barrett was up for her lower court nomination, there was bipartisan support at the end for her nomination. So she has that working for her. She's been through a recent vetting process in the Senate. For most people, believing in a faith is not a disqualifier to public service, and we should never make that radical. Well, thank you for watching Dad Describes. I will catch you next time.